Hello everybody and welcome back again to another Mistfall Hunter build guide. Today we're gonna be looking at one of my favorites as well. I think honestly Mercenary is my favorite class, but I have been having tons of fun with the Sword and Shield build. We're gonna be going through the skills, the talents, affixes, and some gameplay that we have prepared for today. Starting up with the skills, we have the Stormbreaker Slash. This is our Parry skill. We're not gonna be using the tank setup. So this one is great when it comes to getting those pesky shadow streaks off you, or just for parrying any elite enemies that actually can be annoying. And believe it or not, this works against the Mistlords. You can get to land some good damage on them as well as interrupting their casting. And also we're using the Whirling Cut, the upgraded version of course, as it will give us an extra dash that will work as a gap closer since we're not using shield dash. For the talents, we're picking on the sword talents this time, sword edge, blade charge. This will mean that your sword will do increased damage when you're in blade edge or strong edge state. And a stacking blade. The number of sword tip stacks required to reach the blade edge status is actually 4 instead of 6. This is huge. This will make your damage skyrocket. Next up, I got opportunities to increase the movement speed during block. The reason for this is simple. It helps you push those pesky range players. Black arrows, block. Sorcerers, block. That is in some cases, of course. They still will do some damage, so you gotta make sure to level up your bulwark, which will be your affix for the shield. Now going up with Fearless for the whirling, I'm probably murdering that one. But it will allow you to do a dash that will work as a gap closer. And the second part, it will simply make your skill hit harder and you'll also gain one sword tip. For the Stormbreaker shield, you can pick whatever you like. You can pick either the right side, southern edge, that it will support holding for the skill to do a dash after, and then a Stormbreaker that will grant you one sword tip. Or if you prefer, you can go with the perfect block part when it gives you super armor and also shield, or that you can use it during the breakaway window, but it will increase the base energy cost. This is good as well. You can use whichever you feel comfortable with. Honestly, I went with the other one, and you will see in a couple clips on why. But turns out that even the Wither Knights, when they try to pull you with the hook, they get staggered, and you can close distance when they hit you with that. So first the slash. This time you will see, if you don't have the talents, you will see that it will only do the second part, but in this case I also have a gap closer. It's a pretty good one. If I press again, I will have the regular slash. And for the Stormbreaker, then if I just press the bottom, that's all that will happen. But if we wait for the cooldown really quick, and we hold the bottom instead of just pressing it, then you will see an extra dash that will close up distance as well. Here you go. You can use that against some range attack as well. Now, going with the affixes, then you could go with the generic one pretty much. Valor, Stoic, which are really good ones at all times. Drive is great. Also Seeker, as you will be putting tons of pressure with this weapon. And also, really important is Bulwark. It would increase the block damage reduction rate, so it can get up to a 30% reduction rate and the energy cost reduction up to a 9%. That is huge when you're pushing ranged characters. And also, you can block from time to time to get safe from something that you're not sure if you can dodge. Now, with all of this being said, I will leave you with some gameplay and with some commentary as well. Starting off with the first PvP encounter of the match, it was a Shadow Streets that was focusing on looting. I surprised him, got him a little bit scared, and he was pretty good at running, but this build is actually extremely good at chasing people, so as long as you're paying attention and you know what you're doing, they're not likely to get away. I read this guy like a book. I knew he was gonna dash, and I started right away with my parry, causing him to stun and dealing some damage. Then I move on to the weirdness slash and combo him to almost dead. He managed to get away again. As I told you, he was really good at running, but still it's nothing that this mercenary cannot really chase. Mercenary, his whole kit actually has tons of cap closers, and here he was trying his best. At this point you can see that he tried to jump to the wind stream. I knew I wasn't gonna die from fall damage, so I went ahead and skipped the animation and kept striking, which gave me the advantage so I could keep comboing him to death. Later on I found a strange breed of human being that is actually using Seer as a damage with range weapons that is not so likely that you will find in solos, unless I'm the one using it and a couple more people that actually have the same mental issues as I do. But actually Seer is pretty good. Now the thing is, he switched over to the hammer. He had no skills there that he could use. I managed to parry that, but you can see that was actually unblockable, it seems. Still, he changed back to the range part, but it was already too late. We were playing around the corners. He didn't really have the advantage here as we were really close to each other. He didn't have many places to run, so he can actually outrange me. It was not his lucky day. I ended up finishing up really quick with the counter. And finally the Mistlord fight. I start opening up with the hammer as it will be a great damage dealer during this standby animation that this boss has. Then I immediately switch over to my sword and shield. I have huge advantage against this one because I can parry this boss whenever she tries to do melee attacks. I don't know really what she would try to do there. Didn't really work out, but you can see here is a parry, she gets stunned and took all the damage.
This unknown power, irresistible.
I ended up skipping most of the fight as it would take way too long from the video. I managed to land another parry and she went into phase 2 right after. So I took the time to pull out the hammer, charge it and get the free strike again. When she summons the ghost, then it will be a good idea to change to the hammer so you can deal that immense damage. And try your best not to get grabbed by that attack. At that point, she was pretty low in HP, so I thought I could finish her off, but she went ahead flying, so that left me again with the ghost that I allowed her to summon. But it was a quick work. I just had to finish up that mercenary. They are pretty easy, unlike ranged classes in this boss fight, or even Wither Knight that can put a lot of pressure. The mercenary is, I think, one of the easiest of all the shadows that she can summon.
Moon ever be made whole again.
At this point I didn't have much more to do. I just found a couple of elite enemies and decided to test the build and the damage on it. You can see it's actually pretty good. I made quick work of this berserker. You can also parry most of the strikes as long as they're not the red ones. Then I took advantage of the Tyrannical Executioner that was pretty close to my extraction point here, and since I had that purple hammer that I got from the boss fight, I also took advantage of that to deal more damage. After that it was just a simple and successful extraction. And that was the end of the run and almost the end of the video as well. Now we'll be seeing just a quick PvP versus a Wither Knight. This was the tank variation, so I focus on the shield skills instead. So you can see how well this weapon actually counters Wither Knight, starting off with that parry right there. And then as soon as you can see he's trying to pull out his arm to pull you over, then just start with the shield bash or even the shield breaker slam. It can also block that. Or you can also just decide to block the grab attack, and that will make the Wither Knight go jump into you instead of stunning you. You can see here, there he tried again. I went ahead one more time, he didn't learn the lesson. I shield bash him again, and that was almost the end of the fight. I read him like an open book here. I healed up and I knew he was going to attack, so I went ahead with the parry, and boom. That's it. GG's, buddy. Remember, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.